Well, hi friend. Welcome to this week's edition of Sips with Chris. I am sipping on the Washira Sparkling White, which is the lion of our wine safari. It is Blanc de Blanc, 100% Chardonnay grape, a demi-sec, so a little sweetness to it, nice soft bubbles, does not attack my palate. And I love me a nice sparkling in the summer. It's beautiful weather we're having in California. So whether it's a sparkling rosé or a sparkling blanc, cheers. This week we're going to chat about what it takes, at least for me, to build a successful winery business in this here California wine region. So a lot of people will assume that wineries succeed because of great grapes. And while that's kind of true, it's only a third of the battle. Grapes are only a third of what it takes to build a successful winery business. I have opted to have this winery be the cross between my heritage and my chosen home, California, or my adopted home, which is California. Being Kenyan born and raised, I tell the story of my people, where I'm from, through the wines in this glass. Each of the bottles features one of the big five of the Kenyan safari, and that's where the sparkling is the lion. And I do like to share how these wines complement the dishes that have African diaspora origin. So for this winery, it's a little more effort for a great product, because great products alone don't build a successful business. And the real challenge is often in the mechanisms that we put in place to support the vision. So for me, it is inventory, distribution, sales, financial resources, and also a decision-making, system. When all those things are in concert and they play in tandem, then you likely have a great successful business. A lot of the times we see the challenges in business, especially in this economy right now. You'll see declines in sales. You may see a huge turnover in staff. You may see challenges converting leads into sales. A lot of those things are symptoms, and they're symptoms of either a fragmented system or a system that is missing something, or something that's completely fractured, right? So when you start experiencing some of these outcomes, recognize that they're symptoms. They're not the actual issue. The real cause may be sort of underlying somewhere, and you do need to interrogate the system quite a bit to figure that out. And being of Kenyan descent, coming into this space, I had to be extremely resourceful, right? Because again, having some solid decision-making systems, having some solid sources of grapes, having those long-term partnerships with farmers, so an inventory system, having a sales team that was dependable, that was all the way locked into the brand, that understood the ethos of the brand and understood why we were doing Washira wines the way we were doing it, because it was different, right? Having those things in place helped us be successful. So you think about when I started in my career journey, I was in healthcare, and that sort of the importance of having great systems in place, especially when resources are limited, has been sort of a red line across everything I've participated in. So in healthcare, thinking about whether you're running a code blue trying to save a life, you do need to have solid systems and processes in place. In improvement science, if I'm trying to figure out how to navigate a process issue, I need data. I need a system that gives me the data that I need to figure out what the issue is, to do an RCI, root cause analysis on a process or a breakdown, right? In entrepreneurship, when I'm scaling across borders, having limited financial resources, I need to have solid distribution partners. I need to have a solid licensing process in place. How do we follow up on those licenses? How do we make sure that things are in place that allow us to be successful? And winemaking, coming into an industry where this is not my background. I didn't grow up around grapes or wineries for that matter. So having to craft a palate from an unconventional background, I've had to have processes in place that allow me to have the same exact formulation for the wines with every single production that we make. Sometimes it misses, and some of those products don't make it to market. Even today in 2026, sometimes when you age wine in barrels, it doesn't always come out the way you intend it to be, and some of those products don't make it to market. So when, as a leader, if you're only focusing on the visible problem, if you're only, using your energy to address the symptoms, the decline in sales, or the decline in conversion rates, or high staff turnovers, if you're only using your energy to address those symptoms and not interrogating your system to figure out where things are fragmented or fractured, you're missing the issue, and you will continue to have the outcomes that the system you've built generate. You will continue having those same issues. So the better question to always ask is how is the system performing? So if you think about it, if you have something that you've been working on and something that you're trying to change, to improve, whether it's about yourself personally, say you're trying to lose weight, or become a better speaker, or become or have whatever it is you're trying to improve on yourself personally, or in your business, you're trying to grow your business, scale your business, whatever it is. If you keep having the same symptoms show up, you keep having the same challenges show up, it's time to put a pause and look at the system you've built, because the system will keep producing the same outcomes it was created to produce. I hope that helps. Here's to a great summer. Cheers.